The boxing world could be on the verge of witnessing an explosive showdown as Keyshawn Davis, the undefeated rising star, calls out Gervonta Tank Davis in what he believes would be a battle of skill versus power. With Keyshawn confident in his height, reach, and defensive prowess, he's ready to step up and take down the feared knockout artist, comparing their potential fight to the legendary Muhammad Ali versus Sonny Liston clash. Can Keyshawn's technical brilliance outshine Tank's devastating power? This could be the fight that shocks the world. Keyshawn Davis, an up-and-coming star in boxing, believes that he has what it takes to beat the WBA regular lightweight champion, Gervonta Tank Davis, despite Gervonta's reputation for devastating power and knockout ability. Keyshawn, who holds an undefeated record of 11 wins, 0 losses, with 7 knockouts, is currently ranked number 3 by the IBF, WBC, and WBO in the lightweight division. His confidence stems from his height advantage, standing at 5'10" compared to Gervonta's 5'5", and his superior technical ability. Keyshawn feels his height, longer reach, and defensive skills would allow him to neutralize Gervonta's aggressive style. He sees a potential matchup between them as a fight where he could easily outbox Gervonta, referring to it as target practice due to his belief that Gervonta's shorter stature and tendency to start fights slowly would give him a clear advantage. Keyshawn draws parallels between a potential fight with Gervonta and the famous 1964 bout between a young Cassius Clay, later known as Muhammad Ali, and Sonny Liston. In that fight, Clay used his speed and footwork to frustrate Liston, who was known for his power and intimidation tactics, eventually winning the match and becoming a world champion. Keyshawn envisions himself playing the role of Clay in this scenario, using his quickness and technical skill to outmaneuver Gervonta, whom he likens to Liston due to his reputation as a knockout artist and his intimidating presence in the ring. This comparison underlines Keyshawn's belief that his speed, movement, and defensive abilities would be too much for Gervonta, who is known to be a slow starter in fights. However, critics note that Gervonta has shown explosive power and finishing ability even in the later rounds. Top Rank, the promotional company handling Keyshawn, has yet to make any serious moves toward organizing a fight between Keyshawn and Gervonta. Instead, the focus seems to be on matching Keyshawn against other top fighters in the division. Some names that have been mentioned as potential future opponents for Keyshawn include WBO super featherweight champion Denis Berinchyk and former world champion Vasily Lomachenko. Both fighters present serious challenges for Keyshawn, as they are technically skilled, experienced, and have had success at the highest levels of boxing. Despite this, Keyshawn is scheduled to fight Gustavo Lemos in the main event on ESPN in his hometown of Norfolk, Virginia, on November 8th, 2023. The fight will give him a chance to showcase his skills in front of a large audience and possibly solidify his standing as one of the top contenders in the lightweight division. Although there's talk about Keyshawn potentially moving up in weight to 140 pounds for more opportunities, he currently remains focused on making his mark at 135 pounds. However, there are risks of being frozen out at lightweight, with many of the top fights already lined up for other contenders, such as Gervonta, Devin Haney, and Shakur Stevenson. Keyshawn has expressed interest in fighting top names like Gervonta to propel his career forward, but it remains unclear if those fights will materialize in the near future. Moving to 140 pounds might offer Keyshawn more lucrative matchups against bigger names in a higher weight class, where the competition is equally tough. Keyshawn recognizes that Gervonta's greatest asset is his knockout power, famously ending many of his fights with a single punch. With an impressive record of 29 wins, 27 by knockout, Gervonta has a reputation for being one of the most dangerous punchers in the sport, regardless of weight class. Keyshawn acknowledges that Gervonta's power is something he has to be cautious about, saying, "We all know what Tank has got. He's got that one shot to knock you out." However, Keyshawn believes his own diverse skill set, which includes speed, footwork, and a strong defense, gives him the upper hand. He argues that while Gervonta primarily relies on his knockout power, Keyshawn has more weapons in his arsenal. In his view, his versatility and ability to adapt in the ring make him a more complete fighter than Gervonta, who, according to Keyshawn, depends heavily on landing one big punch to end a fight. However, Keyshawn's recent performance against tough Mexican fighter Miguel Madueno raised some concerns. In that fight, Keyshawn struggled to handle the relentless pressure from Madueno and even resorted to bending the rules, fouling his opponent during exchanges. Some fans and analysts believe this showed cracks in Keyshawn's game, especially when he's put under pressure by aggressive fighters, something that could play into Gervonta's strengths. Gervonta is known for his ability to bide his time, weather his opponent's attacks, and then deliver devastating knockouts in the later rounds. Keyshawn has acknowledged Gervonta's tendency to start slow, but also questioned whether he truly starts as fast as some claim. Referencing his conversation with fellow boxer Bruce Carrington, Keyshawn dismissed the notion that Gervonta started fast in his fight against Frank Martin, instead comparing him unfavorably to other opponents who applied constant pressure early on. Keyshawn feels that his reach, defense, and ability to control distance would make it difficult for Gervonta to close in on him. At 5'10", Keyshawn would have a significant height and reach advantage over the 5'5" Gervonta, which could allow him to keep the fight at a distance and frustrate Gervonta's attempts to land big punches. Keyshawn's belief is that if Gervonta tried to come forward with his high guard, he would turn into target practice for Keyshawn, who feels confident in his ability to land punches without being caught. "I've got good defense," Keyshawn emphasized, highlighting that he's ready for the type of fight Gervonta would bring, but believes Gervonta would have a much harder time dealing with his boxing skills. Keyshawn also sees this potential fight in historical terms, comparing it to the famous matches between Sugar Ray Leonard and Roberto Duran, or Muhammad Ali and Sonny Liston. He believes this would be a classic boxer versus puncher matchup, where the slick, skilled fighter Keyshawn would have the upper hand over the shorter, stronger puncher Gervonta. While it's true that Sonny Liston and Gervonta Davis are not entirely comparable in style, Keyshawn's point is that Gervonta, like Liston, relies on his power and intimidation to win fights, while Keyshawn sees himself as a fast, technically gifted boxer like Ali. Keyshawn acknowledges the risks in facing a puncher like Gervonta, but he believes his confidence and skills are enough to secure a victory, just like Ali did against Liston. In conclusion, while a fight between Keyshawn Davis and Gervonta Davis is still far from being confirmed, Keyshawn's belief in his ability to defeat Gervonta has sparked plenty of discussion in the boxing world. With both fighters continuing to make waves in their respective careers, fans are eagerly awaiting to see if this clash of styles will ever come to fruition. Whether it happens at 135 pounds or in a different weight class, it's clear that Keyshawn views this potential fight as a defining moment in his career, one that could elevate him into boxing stardom.